Took the opportunity the other week to go up to Crookwell. Now Crookwell's just the other side of Goulburn, which is about 2.5 hours drive for me, and I had been up to this show a couple of times, and I'm fortunate today to have Leigh with me, and Leigh was heavily involved in the show and he's moved off a little bit and he might tell us about that, but he was the MC this year and I'm fortunate that he's been able to come down and help me with the commentary.
Yeah, thanks Howard, appreciate the invite. Yeah, it's a good show. I was initially involved in the establishment of the show with the Crookwell Car Club, but have stepped back over the last 12 months, but still help out with the announcing on the day.
And it's got quite large now. There was 400 odd entrants this year.
Yeah, 420 in total, including the cars, trucks and bikes. Yeah, and as for the crowd, I'm not sure. We don't keep count of the crowd, but yeah, 420 entries in total, which was fantastic.
Well, as you can see there, the crowd that's under the trees there. You'll see in a minute we go through and do the motorbikes. It's if you get there too late, it's quite difficult to film because the people get in the way, unfortunately.
Yeah, the hotter the day gets, the more attractive the shade becomes, and that's where the bikes are. So yeah, from a filming perspective, it'd get pretty tight, I think.
Well, Leigh, before we go anywhere, we might even have a look at the bikes maybe, eh?
Yeah, good display of bikes. Again, Howard, the bikes were added. The committee, when the show was set up, we wanted the bikes to be included, and to the credit of local bike owners and people from away, they've really taken to it.
I love the fact that there's a lot of ag bikes and a lot of the old dirt bikes and stuff that you just don't see around, and I guess that comes a lot from being a rural community.
Very much, yeah. As you've said, it's a way of life when you grow up in a rural area to be on trail bikes and motocross bikes and ag bikes, and yeah, a lot of people have then decided to, well, that was the type I had when I was a kid, so I'll do a restoration.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool because, I mean, for me, I used to ride dirt bikes, not very well, mind you, but I rode dirt bikes, and my dad restored a lot of these early stuff, not as early as that one.
Yeah.
So I just really appreciate the effort that people go to bring them back.
Yeah, it's a real labour of love, very much like the cars, but I mean, you know, the KX that you can see there, obviously, you know, someone's had that as a kid and then kept it, or bought another one later and then...
Yeah, and that's probably, what, an 80s or something, I think?
I reckon, yep.
Yeah, so I had some bikes in the late 70s, and then there's a lot of people ride, you know, as a group to the event and don't necessarily bring them and put them in on display, but there's a good range of road bikes, Harleys and others.
Yeah, a lot of custom stuff with the Harleys in terms of paint and accessories and whatnot, and thankfully a lot of them do come in and show the bikes as well for the people to look at, but as many bikes as there were in here in the display area, there was just as many parked out in the car park.
Yeah, I'm really taken by the paint on a lot of these and the innovation on the paint.
Yeah, there's a couple that'll come up here later on that the attention to detail is just amazing.
I've sort of always had a bit of a yearning to maybe do a bike, but and primarily because the cost is not as much as a car, but it also doesn't take much room when it's done. No,
fair point. You can sort of have it along a wall, and you don't have to walk around it too much.
This was quite interesting. This one, I don't know whether that was something created late, or whether it was an old bike that someone's restored.
Yeah, it sort of looks like it might have been some sort of delivery model back in the day, is the way, definitely the theme it's been done in.
So I was a little bit cramped for room in places trying to get all these in, but I do like the bikes.
Yeah, and again, you get your Harleys, and then you've got a Yamaha RD there parked in amongst them. So yeah, as you can see, they sort of was where you came was where you parked.
Yep.
But the local AP&H Society have developed this grassed area in here, the bars down the back there,
yep,
where the bikes are parked, and this area is just perfect for the bikes to park. People can mingle around and have a look at them. There's plenty of shade as you work your way up there, and really lends another, well, probably avenue for the show and adds to the day for sure.
Yeah, and of course we can't use your music because of copyright and stuff, but we actually have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's someone with too much time on their hands, isn't it?
I reckon someone needed a hobby. Yep.
Yep, it's a classic. Yeah, so you've got a DJ there with it cranking, and the quality of the music was good as well, so it really can be a good day out to actually spend there and have a few beverages if you want and take it in. And it was a nice cool area.
Yeah.
With the grass and the trees.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, that's an unusual, 450.
Yeah, I've not seen one of them before.
No, I thought the same, because I've always had a bit of a love for the old 750. And that's like a pre-war Harley, that one, because my dad had a couple of those war Harleys.
Yeah, there's plenty of variety, as you can see, walking through there, and then a trike, and quite a few trikes there this year. But yeah, gee, the variety in the bikes this year was really strong.
So I think it's one of those areas, because I love bikes, but I don't follow it so much. I don't know how often they get the opportunity to take them out and give people a look at them. But now I don't know how old this was, but this was a nice display. Really
well done, that display, a modern bike, but sort of set up as you would see them at a race, with the mat and the gear bag and the little table at the front for anything. So yeah, really good display, that one.
I love the work in that expansion chamber, the welding and the finishes. Next level.
Yeah.
That's a big unit.
Yeah, that one take up a bit more room than a chopper, Howard, for sure. Yeah.
Yep. I probably need one of those so I don't fall over.
You and me both. Something going on there under that fairing, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at, to be honest.
No, definitely custom, that one.
It's definitely got the shine happening on that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a more modern bike, that one, but really done nicely. Plenty of intricate artwork there too, with the airbrushing and the graphics on that one.
See his little mate?
Yeah. They do a good ride for men's mental health. That, I think it's called the Black Dog Ride, I think it's called, and a lot of bikes really do support that, which is a great cause.
Now look at these.
Oh yeah, these are I think they call these the Vikla style, and these were the bikes, these three here, and then the one that's in the Elite Hall, the black and gold one, were definitely competing for the top notch. But gee, the detail in these bikes is just amazing.
I like their use of colour on all the bikes. Like they seem to get a theme and run with it and make it work.
Yeah, they carry it very well. This one, obviously, with red and black, and then bring other colours into the graphics and the like. But yeah, they really do a great job on them.
It's interesting what we collect, though, isn't it? It all goes back to our early years and what we had and what we'd like to have again.
Yeah, we're definitely influenced by what we grew up with, that's for sure. It's I was talking to Owen Webb about that at one stage during the day, and it definitely, that influence keeps carrying. I like the engraving on this one in all the bars and the chrome work, all hand engraved and then re-chromed.
Yeah, I spoke to a guy at SEMA year before last with the Harley, and he was like Hispanic, so I'm guessing out of Mexico or somewhere.
Yep.
And the business he operated, they had two guys full time engraving.
Wow.
That's all they did.
Gee.
Engraving. Because
Yeah.
I said to him, "Is this done computer?" He said, No, it's all done by hand.
Yeah, right.
And they had two guys there.
Amazing.
So a good run of trophies, mate. Something for everyone.
Yes, yeah, lots of good categories, and the categories are always reviewed year to year. But yeah, the club thinks they're on a pretty good thing there. So yeah, but plenty of trophies. Yeah, winner and runner up for each category.
I think I get back there in a minute. I had a couple of people that decided they'd need to see it more than me. Look at that. That's beautiful. That the chrome tank and then the pin lines and the paintwork.
Yeah.
So is that a Quacker 9 or a... Can't see the badge on it. I don't know Macaui's that well, but...
That's 1,000, that one, the Suzuki, yeah.
Yeah, my mate had a Honda 754, and that's probably why I've always liked them, you know, because
Yep.
when we were only teenagers, we had the cars and he had the bike.
Yep. Yeah, every group of friends always tends to have that one guy that has a bike. You know, they don't care for cars, but
True.
they love bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're into, you know, it doesn't matter, cars or boats or whatever, there's always one guy who's a bike guy. Yep.
So I see all them food stalls in the background, so a lot of those are local charities as well.
Yeah, local junior rugby league club there ran the barbecue for us amongst all the other food traders, and they all had a pretty good day. The local rugby league club there, the junior rugby league, that's their biggest fundraiser for the year, that barbecue.
Oh really? That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
And of course every year you manage to give quite a lot back to the community.
Yeah, we've donated almost, the club now is up to around $20,000 in total from the two shows.
Awesome.
And this year's show, I'm sure they raised a little bit more than normal. I did hear, I haven't had it confirmed, but I heard over 15,000 this year the show was raised. So that'll go right back into the community to different groups and different causes.
Very good. Well, lots to see because there was over 400 entrants, so we'll keep wandering on.
Out of the shade and into the sun now.
So a couple of drift cars, which was a bit unusual.
Yeah, Matt Grice from down at Wodonga, he had some wrap work done on the VK that you'll see here shortly by a good local business out of Goulburn, Studio 4, and he came up and supported the show with his VK there and the other car as well, which was good to see, something a bit different.
And it was a beautiful day.
Beautiful, yeah, 28 degrees up there. We couldn't have ordered better if we wanted to, really. It was, yeah, perfect for a car show.
Now, these guys were there last year, and I was a little bit taken back because I have, in my early days, involved with Speedway with my brother, and my dad used to take me and stuff, and it's really nice to see these old ones, and I noticed that it's a club. I think I'll do a picture of the banner in a minute, that's still operating, and obviously they get these things out and use them.
Yeah, they do. They race them regularly. I was talking to a couple of the committee members there, and they race them on average around once a month, sometimes more, in historic classes and the like. So yeah, still active in the cars, not just display anymore.
Like, look at that next one, the white one coming up, that just pushes all my buttons, the wheels, the knock-off centres, just a cool little thing.
Yeah, great cars and great people as well. They were letting the kids sit in the cars throughout the day and have their photos taken, and you could just give them a gold coin donation for that, and they then donated that money back to the club then. So yeah, great cars, great variety, and really good people to boot.
So they operate like in the Goulburn area somewhere, do you know? Or?
No, based out of Sydney.
Oh, right.
Yeah, a local connection with some family from Crookwell. So there's a bit of a connection there, but no, all based out of Sydney or the Central West. One fella was over near Katoomba and another fella over near Orange, but mostly based out of Sydney.
So there's the banner. You can check that out if you're looking to find out where they operate. And they were doing some startups with the old stock car as well.
Yeah, she was a wild piece of kit, that thing, but yeah, the kids loved it, sitting in it with it starting up and everything added to the day for them, for sure.
So a 37, I think that said 5-window coupe. That probably a few people with a tear in their eye about that.
Yeah, best they don't pay attention, I reckon.
So mate, we're going to walk along, or I'm going to walk along all these cars, and if you got anything to add, throw it in, because man, there's some variation in what's available.
Yeah, pretty broad church. That's one thing Rollin Chrome certainly is. We tend not to worry too much about makes and models, and it's I mean, the public has really taken to it, which is fantastic. But a few members' cars here early. Obviously, the first cars along with the volunteers that were helping on the day there. So a couple of the car club members there, as you can see by the banners on the windscreen.
He said, "My dad watches the show. I want to get on." I said, "No worries, jump in there. You're good for a go." So, mate, Rollin Chrome, and obviously that's there's not many trailers parked out the front.
No, we're pretty happy with the amount of drivers that turn up, and that's what we were hoping to get. The name sort of came about by, well, if it rolls or it's got chrome, that's what we want there. We don't really care. So yeah, Rollin Chrome was born, and off we went. But yeah, we get a few higher level or unregisterable cars like the burnout stuff you'll see a bit later, but they're really the only ones that get trailered. The rest are all driven in there. Yeah, we're still on some local member cars there now, but yeah, a lot of stuff drove in throughout the day. It was a real procession there for a while.
So that EH Prem looked like a nice tidy restoration.
Yeah, local member did that one. He bought that and tidied it right up and did a great job.
So there's a few nice Ford restos there. Seem to be seeing more and more Monaros than I've ever seen in my life. I did show Cars Melbourne the other day, and there was a couple of new unveils down there. I don't know where they keep finding them.
Yeah, they didn't make them many, did they? So they must be hiding them pretty well, but yeah, they seem to keep popping out. You're absolutely right.
So left-hand drive 2-door. So we never got the 2-door Fairlanes in Australia. We only got the 4-doors, and I had a close association with one of those. And it's interesting, the Yanks don't quite understand why we do 4-doors.
Yeah, you quite often hear in America, no, it's got too many doors for me.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I just had the Dodge around the back of the coffee stand there, so plenty of food and drinks and all. I was just pointing out to Heather there, I think. See the ghost flames on that?
Yeah, I followed these two cars out. I'm from Goulburn now, and followed these two cars out from Goulburn to Crookwell, and it was a really nice drive, actually.
It's good to be cruising along and have a couple of the old schoolers in front of you, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they were setting a pretty good pace, and I thought, no, this'll do. I'll just sit here. Yeah, it wasn't a bad view looking at the back of a Charger for half an hour.
Another left-hand drive. I'm seeing a bit of a surge towards the alternative body styles, like panel vans, obviously me and what I'm doing, but also utes and wagons. They were sort of once the parts cars, but they're not anymore.
No, wagons in particular seem to be having a bit of a period. I like wagons. I'm a bit of a fan of the long roof, as they say, and yeah, you're certainly seeing more and more of them, particularly in the Holden stuff.
Looks like, I think, an LS there. I struggle a bit with my GM. I'm getting better.
That'd be you and me both.
I think I'll probably turn around. Sometimes I get people behind me and around me, and I've just got to keep moving the camera to... Some people like to be on the camera, other people you can see them running, so I've got to up over a couple. So like I was saying, the crowd had come in. I think we got there about 10, and yeah, come in the gate and went, whoa, it's more cars and more people than the previous year.
Oh yeah, they had well over 200 entries by around 9:30, and it was just a constant stream. As I said, you'd look up from where I was doing the announcing, and they were lined up right back up to the gate to get in and pay their entry fee, which is great. Absolutely fantastic result. Nice
old school there. It's got the centre lines and a set of Webers.
Yeah, it's a real 80s build, that, isn't it? Takes you back to that period with the centre lines and the triples.
So after I got home and I checked my footage on this show, I've done some more. We bought a new gimbal probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. The other one was just getting a bit tired, and I've had to try and find a few more settings, because when I go up and over people, it's normally a bit more subtle.
Yep.
But the gimbal's got settings on it that enables the camera to follow.
Yeah.
So yep. I'm not sure, it's just one of your members or something. This was parked out on its own, and I think he was trying to hide it, but it actually made it quite good.
Mick's not one to get noticed. He loves his ute, but he's not really one to have it judged or anything. But Crookwell Car Club member, Mick Croker, and yeah, lovely fella to boot.
So a few more boys decided, and girls probably, to ride out, being a lovely day. So these were a couple that, I don't even know if they were entered, but they'd pulled up there, and then on the other side of the fence was a whole lot more.
Yeah, a lot of the bikes, I mean, the weather lent to coming for a ride, and they're all Canberra bikes, I think, so they came in, but a lot of, again, the bikes, they don't care about getting judged. They're happy to pay their entry and then just park, which is great. They're supporting the show, but yeah, they're more than happy just to park along there rather than go into the bike judging area.
It's a bit of a change up for a Harley, isn't it, to be bright fluoro rather than being black?
I reckon he gets asked a lot of questions.
So mate, a few trucks.
Yeah, not as many as last year in the trucks, which was a bit of a shame, but the trucks that did show up, they made a really good effort and looked a treat, yeah.
Always blows me away how actually physically big they are when you stand next to them. You see them on the road and you go, yeah, they're big, but I mean, when you're standing next to it, they are so big.
You look at some of those bumpers and say, imagine trying to polish that. It's bad enough having to do the wheels on your car.
Now, this green one, that's got all the tanks are done, all the wheels, all polished.
Yeah, and to a mirror finish too.
Yeah, massive job.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking days of work, let alone, clean your car up of a morning and then head to a show. You've got to be getting that ready a week before. That's massive.
And most of these would be working trucks.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, hats off to them for going to the effort. So I'm just going to, where do I go? Back down the rows. So you can see there we've got about 5 or 6 rows to do, and that's why it's an hour long. And I just like to try and take them all in.
Yep.
And don't try and limit myself to what we can put on the show. So this is the Tirana Club out of Canberra as well, I think.
Yes, yeah, they came over and had a really strong presence this year, so we thank them for making the trek across. They, brought a bunch of really nice cars and had a really good group of people there, and good variety. An original Tirana there, right next to a fairly heavily modified one. So yeah, really good variety. A bunch of people spoke about how good those Tiranas were.
So I'm heading to the GT Nationals in a couple of weeks' time down at Shepparton. So it's interesting to go from a show like this with so many varieties of cars to then go somewhere where it's going to be probably 400 of the same marquee, which will be interesting.
Yeah, I guess they blend a little bit until you find one that really stands out, I suppose, when you're looking at the same make and model or period.
Yeah. Good to see these all getting used.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, a couple of different shades of green there too, which is always good to see, a different take. I'm guessing that's an LS there too, with the coil packs, etc. So he's had a few changes there to that one. Oh yeah, and then injected VN there. That's out of a VN by the look,
and
or
that
VP.
had some quite large steel wheels on it as well. So the standard wheels widened out. Yeah,
and then the old hutch on that yellow hatchback there, the camper hutch on the back of it there, which was a pretty rare addition if you wanted that out of the factory.
It's interesting, if I wear my black shirt with the big Assel on the front of it and the YouTube on the back, I tend to get a little bit better guide through the crowd.
Yep.
I went somewhere the other day and filmed with just a just a plain shirt from another show or something, and I struggled a lot more without it because people recognise me and go, oh, he's filming, I better get out of the way.
Yeah.
So thanks to the people that do that for me.
You'd nearly need a minder some days, or a fluoro vest perhaps or something, Howard.
Yeah, I try and not get too carried away, but as it all grows, it's all working for us. So.
But most people are pretty considerate. If they see someone with a camera trying to get some footage or a photo, they'll happily step back while you do that.
I'm finding that more and more now, there's more and more people doing either similar to me, but maybe with a phone, or if they're filming something and they want to upload, they don't realise who's around them and they're standing there uploading while they're next to the car they just filmed, and that gets a bit frustrating, but anyhow, it's what we do.
Yeah, yep.
Nice original one, the old XL.
Yeah, lovely XL, that one. Something a bit more modern there. You can see what I mean by a broad church, your XL Falcon, and then a Nissan Skyline right next door to it. It's you don't have to walk too far to find something that catches your eye, no matter what you're a fan of.
This guy's obviously been to a few shows. They had the umbrella and the chairs and the esky and all. They're well set up for the day.
They were set up pretty early too, I might add, and that's where they stayed. Yeah, not a bad way to put in a couple of hours.
A couple of Hiluxes or a Rodeo or something.
Yeah, pay your entry, bring it in. It doesn't bother the car club, that's for sure and certain, which is great. It's first in, best dressed, and come along. And a bit more modern stuff you're seeing now as well with that AU there, and like I said, the Skyline before, they're becoming a bit more prominent at car shows.
The old AU was with that twin headlight grille was a bit of one of those models that you either took it or either hated it or loved it, didn't you?
Yeah, they didn't like it I remember in the supercars there was a blow up, they wouldn't let them run the headlight covers for aerodynamics, it gave them an advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that back in the day, but yeah, gee, they're love or hate model for sure. Back into some local members' cars here too. They're members of the club and close relatives of members of the club that all got there early to help out, which was good to see.
Yeah, it's a big effort these days, isn't it, to put together a show of this size as a one-day event. You've got to set it up, run it, pull it down and then be out of there.
Yeah, the one-day shows, it's a 2.5 to 3 day event for the club. It's easily a half day on the Friday to get everything mapped out and ready for all the display guys and whatnot to come in, and then the tear down is then the half day on the Saturday and probably the half day Sunday as well by the time you get it all done.
It looks like a very original XU1, that one.
Yeah, nice little piece of kit that. Yeah, lovely car, local guy, Nigel owns that, and yeah, really nice. Sourced it out of Victoria, I think. Couple of Goulburn guys here with their cars that come out from one of the clubs in Goulburn that support our show and vice versa, of course. So yeah, they made a really strong effort with members and vehicles as well, which was good to see.
They must get out a bit. I seen them somewhere else. I went to a show between Canberra and Goulburn, little small town out in the middle of nowhere, and they were there, I reckon, that group.
Yeah, that was at Tarago, I reckon.
That's the name, yeah. That was a nice day out as well. Another nice Monaro, and then Commodore, a few HDT items on that one.
Yeah, and then a right-hand drive Chev and a left-hand drive Chev, so...
I think that was set up as a Ghostbusters job or something. The little gadget in the front had something written on it about being a ghost catcher or something.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe the dog was to alert you of the ghosts as well.
That was a quick visit, Howard, on that one, on the XC. I don't know what happened there. But you can imagine trying to film this and do everyone justice. If I was on every car, it'd be 3 hours instead of an hour.
Oh, for sure. This car here's an interesting one, Birtles and the Bean. That's Warren Brown from the Daily Telegraph. They drove that from England to Australia this year in sort of tribute to the original trip.
How cool's that?
Yeah. Warren lives near Crookwell, a little town called Taralga, and he, with the support of the Daily Telegraph and a bunch of sponsors, him and another guy, drove it from England all the way out to Australia, retraced the original route, and all in that, which would have made for some interesting stories, I reckon, but I didn't get the chance to talk to Warren.
That's pretty cool. I like that story. This was very clean and very original, this XE.
Yeah, another guy from Goulburn owns that one, and it's a real. He's done a great job in a little bit of modification there in the engine bay and lowered with nice wheels, but certainly keeps a lot of those original Falcon look. It's a real
was it
sort
restored, or was it pretty much an original?
Pretty
car?
much an original car, I think.
Amazing.
I don't think it's had the paint done. I think it's just been sort of tickled up along the way. This was another beautiful car as well.
This had some interesting little brackets and things on the end. It all looks original, but then it had some little alloy brackets and stuff made to make things fit where it needed to be.
Yeah. I spoke with a couple of Holden fans who really liked that VL.
Yeah.
There was talk of, if I can get the keys, I'm gone. So they were pretty wrapped with that VL. Yeah, beautiful sort of, I guess, original example there.
I was a bit lazy. I just parked our GT in the car park.
Fair enough too. Yep.
Oh, I've done so many shows over the years. I mean, I'm really happy to go there and catch up with people and all, but being first in and last to leave, there's not me anymore. We went in and grabbed some lunch in at Crookwell. If you manage to get to this show, there's some nice little cafes and restaurants in Crookwell as well. So if you're looking to get some breakfast or some lunch, go there afterwards.
A lot of people did exactly that. They came to the show for a couple of hours and had a good look around, and then went to a lot of the local businesses. That the club was praised by all the traders, really. They had such a great day, and the main street of Crook was just packed with classic cars throughout the morning and afternoon, where people grab a bite to eat for breakfast or lunch. So yeah, it's a really good boost for the local town as well.
And if you're a Holden guy, there's still an old building there with the Holden signs and stuff on it. That I see a few people parking in there taking a few photos.
Yeah, the old Crookwell Autos, they were a Holden dealer back in the day. Yeah, and still got some signage on it, for sure.
That looks like a bit of a weapon, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how those rear tyres would hold up. That green Capri there sort of looks like a drag challenge type weapon, doesn't it?
It did, yeah, and I say it too much really, but I'm not a big fan of those wheels, but I understand the need for them if you're going to be doing something like Drag Challenge, but they've taken over the game at the moment. It's a bit like the new Simmons.
I was about to say that very thing. Yeah, they're definitely the updated Simmons, that's for sure. They're very popular.
Those three boys were in deep conversation about the GT.
It's funny how some cars will attract a group and then half an hour goes by and they're still talking about that,
I know,
isn't it?
And I think it's a little bit to do sometimes with the owner. If he's right into it or he's just finished a restoration, they're still keen to have a good chat to anybody about the process and what they've been doing and how it all come about.
Very good point.
That's nice and clean and tidy, that one.
Yeah, it's another variety on the Tirana without the flares or the bonnet scoop or that. They're a really, really nice shape when they're left like that.
My mate that used to help me with the cars in the 90s had one of those, and we ran that in and give it a rebuild. I think it went to Summonat 3 or 4, something like that.
Okay.
Lou Fiore, that he had that a long, long time, but he did end up moving it on at some stage.
Yeah.
As we all do.
Yeah, yep. Like an Aero VL
an Aero,
with a body kit. Yeah. Interesting colour. I don't reckon that's factory.
One, it looks like a wrap, but all under the bonnet and all's done, so someone's just got the satin going.
These are the Street Talk Motor Vehicle Club or group out of Goulburn as well. They're another really great club that have been to all of our shows now and really do show up with a lot of vehicles and a lot of members as well, which is great.
Did you manage to go to the reunion or whatever it was for the Grand Prix bikes at Goulburn?
No, I was away that weekend, kicked myself, but yeah, that was a big weekend for the town.
I weighed up whether I'd go there because of my background, it's not something that I'd get a lot of views on, but it would have been something I would have liked to have probably gone to and filmed just because of the nostalgia. So I think it was the 100-year anniversary of Grand Prix racing in Goulburn.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Goulburn hosted the original Australian Grand Prix, I think, and I apologise if that's not right, but it was the 100th anniversary of that event, and yeah, they had a bunch of historic GP bikes and riders as well, which was, it was a big weekend.
I did see some footage. I went looking for some footage and found a bit there just to see what I'd missed, because I thought it would have been one of those events that you don't get to do that type of thing very often. Couple of nice Commodores.
Yeah, another wagon there, as we were saying before, that one up for sale.
I find it really interesting now. I just see they had the injection off the Group A on there. The sort of money some of those parts are bringing now is unbelievable, isn't it?
Incredible. I saw a full VL interior the other day, $13,000. Out of I don't know what it was out of, but yeah, the Shield seats and everything, and just shook my head. Yeah, incredible, the money, and probably get for it too.
Yeah, it's all getting older and harder to find.
Yeah, they're not making it anymore, so, if you know what you've got, then yeah, someone will pay it eventually.
So the Mercury there, my dad had one of those. fully restored it, and then passed it on to his son, who then moved it on.
What year model's that one, Howard? Do you know?
48.
48.
Well, Dad's
okay.
was a 48, and I
Right.
reckon that looked very similar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it was a flathead V8 manual actually, and he put air conditioning and stuff in it. But I sold it while he was alive with his permission, but I put the money into the Mustang. So
Fair enough then. Yep.
don't see these Fairlanes very often. Very tidy car that one was.
Yeah, they're not as popular as a lot of the Fairlanes earlier than them, or later. I know the squarer Fairlanes, the ZJ and
ZC, ZD's quite popular.
Yes, yep.
I love the way they do these engines and stuff. Check out the pipe work and all in this.
Yeah, is it copper? Is it copper?
Yeah, it's
piping?
copper.
Yeah,
Copper and
wow,
brass.
look at that. Yeah. No braid back then, Howard, I guess.
No, mate, no.
Like that shape too, without the shaker out the bonnet. That nice original look. That.
Yeah, nice XW. Another crowd. So looking at the badge on the side, the 302 GS.
Yeah. Yeah, centre lines and.
Now, did you see the engine in this?
I didn't get to see this one. No.
I don't know what it is. It tells me in a minute. I think it's a little BMW
Wow.
in a Mini.
That'd wake you up.
What a weapon that'd be.
No wonder he's got the wide front tyres on there.
Extra cap. Well, we better give Lovell's a plug. So these guys do not only their four-wheel drive stuff, which they've become very much known for now with all of the vehicle requirements when you're towing, to get their load capacities up and their handling ability, but they also do parts for all our stuff that we work with. They're working on a new range that will be out soon with adjustable shocks and all for like the stuff I'm playing with, like with my van. So I've been working with them with that. But they've got outlets in most capital cities, if not all. And if you want to have a look what they've got to offer, just go on to lovellsauto.com.au, check out their range and give someone a call.
Yeah, I reckon I've had some Lovell stuff on some cars of mine too, with sway bars and shocks and springs, that's for sure. They've been around a long time, Lovells.
They have been, and they got a little bit caught up in the four-wheel drive, and they were actually, into Dubai and a lot into America and stuff in the four-wheel drive stuff, and it sort of took their focus away, but they're looking to get back to their roots a bit as well, and at the same time still developing all that four-wheel drive stuff. They've just opened a development location in Adelaide.
Okay.
Where they do a lot of the development for the new models, because obviously it's an ongoing thing to keep up to date with what's available.
Yeah, with the rise of the dual cab utes, it would be a massive market for them.
Yeah, and I mean it's something that people are towing, that the authorities are coming down more and more on people that aren't towing correctly with the right gross vehicle mass ratings for these big vans and fifth wheelers and all you see tripping around.
Yeah, rightly so. You see some of the setups and just shake your head, whereas you can certainly tell one that's been properly set up.
So you see the old slant six, you don't see too many of those.
No, the old leaning tower of power. Yeah.
They used to go all right, eh?
Yeah, they went well. They surprised a lot of people, I think, back in the day, the old slant.
You don't hear a lot about the E38s, at Bathurst and stuff. It's always about the Holden and the Ford. But when you go back and look at some of the early stuff, the old Mini Minor and the Valiant had a fair run at it as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they gave it a real shake back before I guess you'd call it, when Ford, Holden and Chrysler started to go head to head back when it was a production race. Yeah, the old Minis and the Valiants used to be right there.
Did you know that Chev, is that a local one? I see it's left-hand drive.
Yeah, I've got an inkling it might be out of Goulburn, that car. Yeah.
I often wonder with a car like that whether they're imported like that or whether they're brought in and then they put the blower and stuff on it.
Yeah, hard to say. But,
see those back wheels?
Yeah,
I reckon they're maybe even a 14. That's pretty old school.
Yeah, they're pretty deep, those guys. I think that car there picked up maybe winner or runner-up best Ford post 1980, the Moffat Mustang there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think from memory. I
I
apologise if
reckon
it
that
didn't.
was one of the ones done by Tickford. So
Yes.
Tickford brought those out, and the one I really liked was the Moffat Coca-Cola version.
Yeah,
That was a good looking
nice.
car.
Yeah,
A few F100s.
yeah, they're I mean, you're seeing more and more of them too, like from probably early 70s right through into the F-150 type now. They're becoming more and more popular. I guess they're more affordable than some models out of that era.
So a twin cab and another wagon, mate.
Yeah, and then a Challenger there.
Beautiful car.
Yeah, they've got a real presence, the Challengers, I reckon. Just when you see them on the road, there's no mistaking them for anything else other than maybe a Plymouth. But yeah, beautiful
When
car.
I did Show Cars Melbourne, there was like a Monaro, then a Falcon GT, and then like an American muscle car, and it's just like, yep, oh wow.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What about this weapon?
Yeah, there's a bit going on there. White walls and the timber tray and the
Tilt bonnet. the
tilt
whole
bonnet.
lot.
Yep.
Another one of your members' cars.
Yeah, yep. Nice tidy Hilux that. Geez, put some time in keeping that clean, both of those. The old KC driving lights up the top. Gee, that's out of the 80s, isn't it? Yeah, bit of Back to the Future stuff there.
Now I shot this one a bit more last year. It's got some interesting features. It's all original, but it's got a key in the front guard, like a lock.
Right.
I can remember those way back. It was like a security system, but it had a second key, but it was in the front guard
Oh, okay.
that turned the alarm on. Now what about this for old school?
Yeah. Clearly gone for go over show. I mean, I like that rat look on a lot of cars. It really is cool if you get something original and then power it up. It's yeah, definitely something different. And a Sigma there beside that wagon next to the blue VK there. You don't see too many Sigmas these days. I reckon you found the Commodore aisle here, Howard.
I'm just thinking that. I was just about to say, is this the Commodore Club?
That's a nice one though, that there
It's
with
a
the
bit of a Luxo, isn't it?
yeah, the
Down.
tunnel rammed and gee, lots of polish in there. He'd been busy leading up to the show for sure.
As they say, a labour of love.
Yeah. I think that white VK we just looked at there was out of Yass, I think, from
Oh, okay.
memory.
Yep.
Yeah. So we get them a fair spread from them.
I mean, it's not a bad location from that point of view. It's not far from Canberra. It's not far even from us. From Wollongong, it's like 2.5 hours. And then you've got Goulburn, and then you start going a little bit more west.
Yeah, we get.
You know,
Yep.
you go every direction.
We had some people from Wagga. We had some people from sort of southwest Sydney as well, because they can come straight up the freeway and head out to Crookwell then from Goulburn. So yeah, a couple of original Suzukis there. That's a Goulburn fella. His dad owned the local Suzuki dealership back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And they're original bikes. Yeah. He
Yeah,
brought them in.
I actually like we'll get to the bikes at some point, but I like the fact that you actually have a lot of the dirt bikes and the old ag bikes and all on display, and I think it's an area that once the word gets out will probably grow, because I don't know how often they get to take those out, but it's good for me as an old dirt bike rider to catch up and see what's going on.
Yeah, and being in a country town, it's been a part of a lot of people growing up, those old trail bikes, those old motocross bikes. So yeah, we really, the club is trying to grow that side of it, because it does create a lot of interest.
So if you like your Cobras, the blue one I did a bit of a feature on with the owner of that last year. So if you go back 12 months on our channel, you'll see an interview with the owner of that one. But this one here is, looks like it's out of a similar manufacturer, if you like. but with a supercharged late model motor in it. So
I reckon that would have been a
that'd get up
tight
and go.
squeeze. Yeah.
It'll get up and go though, because that's the same motor that's in our GT, and I can tell you they don't lay about.
No, and it'd be a pretty lightweight, so I'd imagine, yeah, it'd be a whole lot of fun. Oh, sacrilege. No, move on. Shouldn't say that. It's each to their own.
LS the world.
Yeah, each to their own. Lovely car, though. Got the LED headlights in that one as well.
So you got any moke stories?
Yeah, a mate of mine had a moke that he just a paddock basher, and he used to live up near the cemetery in Crookwell, and we got caught driving that around the back of the cemetery by the local constabulary when we were meant to be at school. So we got in a bit of strife that day.
Most people seem to have a moke story. That's a good one. I like that. Now, I've only ever seen about 3 or 4 of these. The four-wheel drive XY. So they were a factory thing, and they didn't make a lot of them.
Were they called an overlander? Is that what they called them, Howard?
Oh, I'm not sure on that. You notice how the motor's tilted?
Yeah.
That's to fit the front axle in.
Oh, the transfer and the... Okay, yeah, right.
The front diff that make room. They actually laid it over and had a spacer in the carby and stuff. I read into someone at one of the shows that there was one there, and he was explaining it all to me. But when I worked in spare parts in 78 or something, there was one at a local panel shop that we had to get parts for that had a hit.
Right.
And that was the first time I seen one, and I've only ever seen 2 or 3 since.
Yeah, they're thin on the ground. You don't see too many of them.
Now this would have been a hard spot to get into you. Must have been early.
I reckon they might have jumped on that pretty early, the shade, for sure.
Good
luck
shady
to them.
Spot.
Yeah, yep.
Now I was a bit taken back by what exactly this was, being a GT Ford, and I wandered around the back, I think, to have a look, because it was actually a Torino.
Yeah, right. That'd be like a late 60s then, would it, that Torino?
Yeah, maybe even early 70s, I think.
Okay.
But, they always say that our Falcon Coupe / hardtop was taken off of these.
Yep.
From a design point of view. That's actually, I was looking at the back of that, it's like a 68, 69, I reckon.
Yeah.
Got that Mustang feel about the back of it.
Well, there was that Clint Eastwood movie with the Grand Torino, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, that was a 72,
like
I think.
72 or 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So the one between those two was the one that our Falcon Coupe in 72 was sort of...
Right.
The design concept was taken from.
Yep.
Bit of useless information there.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we followed a lot of American cues, didn't we? Like all the manufacturers did, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a very tidy ute, that.
Yeah, Maloo. Yeah. They're starting to bring pretty good money too now. They're getting a bit thin on the ground. A lot of those were wrapped around poles and the like back in the day.
Used as a work vehicle, the old plumber says, I'll have a Maloo, and then, used it like they were designed for.
Yeah, true.
So I've left the shade. Now I've got to work out where I am and head down the next row, because we've got sort of a half row started.
Yeah, you're heading down. Yeah, you're almost over the back there, given
broken
where you
the back.
are.
I think we're into the second
you're
half
through
now.
it pretty well now, mate. Yep.
So it's interesting. I did this one in one run, and to film it all, it's probably about an hour and a bit, and the gimbal weighs about a kilo and a bit. So the old right arm starts to get a bit
bet,
pumped.
mate. Yeah, you just started feeling it through the elbow. Yeah.
I see some of these Sandmans, the restored ones, are still quite affordable. You still see them sort of 50, 60 grand.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you tried to restore one, you'd be struggling to do it under 80.
Yeah, I reckon.
If you're doing it right. But there was another one in the hall that we'll see shortly in that same colour.
Yes. Yeah, that was its twin.
But there was a lot more Sandmans, I think, than Ford panel vans, because you don't see too many Sundowners or, rally pack type Falcon vans. And mainly they'll seem to be all the Holden ones.
Yeah, that's right. And Valiant had the Drifter, didn't they? The panel van.
And I don't know how long since I've seen one of those.
Yeah, you don't see many of them. I saw one on car sales the other day for sale, a Drifter. Yeah, and it was the first one I'd seen in a long time.
Old crewman.
There's a bit of variety there with late model Holden into an XR GT. It's as you can see, the club doesn't arrange parking by make or model, Howard.
No, that's as they roll in is where they go.
As
what
you
a
arrive.
nightmare if you tried to put these into rows.
You couldn't. No. We thought about that from the get-go, and then we realised how much of a headache it would be. And we thought, well, mix it all up, and then that way people won't have to walk too far to find something they like.
Plus, a lot of people, like they go to a show like this, they want to be with their club members.
Yes.
And be able to line up together and these ones with their chairs and all, and sit together and spend the day, rather than saying, "No, you're a Holden, you're a Ford, you're a..."
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly. And we have when you come into our show, we have an area off to the side where if you are coming with a club or a group, you can park up until you're all there and then come through as one.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So your club can then all park together, regardless of make or model.
What's that, a big Pontiac?
Yeah, Parisienne, isn't it? A Pontiac, I think. A couple of late model Corvettes there too.
And I just won't comment on that one, we'll just go straight past. I got so much grief about that when we were doing tailspin.
Yeah.
The Commodore with the early model parts bolted to it.
Yep.
It's a nice restored Valiant, this one. So
Yeah,
a Pacer on, it's on the air cleaner.
Yeah, another local car as well. Been around a long time, that car, and is kept to a really high standard.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful car. GTS 4-door there, that's another Goulburn car.
Yeah, bit of bling in there.
Yeah.
Now what's this one? Looks like a Peugeot to me, the shape of it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, it's a mystery to me.
Yeah, that mate, old SUs.
Yeah.
Those old Toyotas have got a big following, haven't they?
Yeah, almost a cult-like following that people love them.
So one of the guys I deal with, the wholesalers up in Sydney, all muscle car parts, they're bringing in complete bodies for those now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're reproducing pretty much all the parts, but they actually have a complete body in a crate.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how big the...
Yeah, so it's got a big following, hasn't it then?
Yeah. Nice original 186 Monaro, original caps and all on it.
Next to a modern 2-door there, another Monaro.
Bit of wind in the hair, mate, if you had some hair.
Oh, no problem for me, Howard, that's for sure.
No, me either, mate.
Did they bring them into Australia right-hand drive, Howard, do you know?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. Might have been a conversion. So I see the people that run the place are planting a few trees. They're obviously looking to continue to improve the area.
Yeah, the local AP&H Society, the Crookwell Showgrounds are privately owned by the trust. It's not a council premises, which is rare. And they do such a wonderful job. They're constantly working at improving the facilities and providing such a great location for our show, which they give us the grounds for free. To enable us to raise more money for the club to then donate back into the community, and then they run the bar, and the profits, they keep that, and that's their payment for the day. So it's we're really lucky, and as you can see, the trees there, they're constantly improving, and those trees will grow up and provide some really good shade.
So they run the local show at this?
They do. The local show's 2 weeks before our car show, so the grounds are always pristine because they have them really well prepared for their show, and then we have ours a couple of weeks later, and they kindly donate the premises and they give us the run of the place for the whole weekend and don't charge us a single cent, which is really kind of them.
That was a very well presented car as well, that one.
Love that colour.
Looks like one of the original candy style candies, doesn't it? There's so many versions nowadays with the amount of paints that are available to get that, try and get that original candy happy look without the work.
Yes. Couple of original old Holdens there too.
So I was toing and throwing here because some part one way and some part the other. made interesting.
They sometimes come in and suit themselves when you're trying to park them, and if they're not paying attention how you want them to go, I guess that, and sometimes you just walk on and go close enough.
I don't know whether you've ever driven one of those 252Vs. So
No.
that Falcon there, so I was fortunate enough that I'm old enough that I've driven a couple of those. They went extremely well. So they were brought out and the manifold bolts off the head, whereas the normal one, it's part of the head.
Right.
And a lot of people bought those for Speedway because you could then bolt your Webers and all onto a Falcon motor.
Okay.
Otherwise you had to machine it all. So a lot of those engines ended up in race cars to suit the particular class.
Yeah, okay.
But as a stocker, they went pretty hard for what they were.
Yeah.
I think the rating on the badge was 170 horsepower, so maybe I was just very young.
Maybe, maybe. Yeah.
They went pretty good.
One of those motors, though, that probably didn't take a lot to wake them up, though.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
A couple you don't see anymore is the Gemini hatchbacks.
No, I was looking at that thinking, and I didn't have the knowledge to know what I was talking about, but yeah. So these were the new trees I was looking at. I thought, yeah, that'll be nice because that's the same tree by the look of it's in the background there.
Yes. Yeah, similar, I think.
Must have been the Gemini Club, mate, there.
Yeah, there was a few there lined up together.
I'm fighting with the crowd now. Oh, Stato, that's pretty good nick as well. It's like almost a survivor car.
Yeah, I reckon that's a factory colour and looks pretty original. Another nice Maloo, a bit later model. That's a Goulburn car as well. Young
So
fellow
it's got-
owns that in Goulburn, and he's had that painted and sort of brought it back to a really nice piece of kit.
Looks like it's got some 20s on it as well. Now, see these, I think they were up last year as well. Might have had a few more at Crookwell last year, but
Yep.
I reckon I've seen some of these cruising through town later in the day. They'd be a rocket ship out on them back roads.
Oh boy, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's for sure.
I dare say there was been a few decent accidents in the back roads out there because there's a lot of double white lines. When we were coming back, there's not many places you can try and pass if the
No.
opportunity arises.
No, unfortunately too many accidents. That's, yeah.
Yeah, it's a...
Country roads claim more than their fair share.
Oh, HR is it? Or yeah, HT.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm a bit like you, Howard. I can't pick the D and the R. I'm a bit stumped on that model, that
See
era.
the vents in the bonnet? I thought, oh, there's something going on, and there was something going on.
Yep.
Probably a turbo and another one.
The VH charger there with the triples and the
I was just
enclosed
gonna say,
airbox.
they've got
And
the big airbox and all on it.
yeah,
And I'd say a big block, looking at that.
yeah, the rocker covers don't lie.
Yeah.
Tilt tray on the back of it too there.
I reckon that'd blaze them up pretty quick.
Yeah, not much weight over the rears in a one-tonner. Another turbo Gemini. As when you're announcing during the day, I haven't seen a quarter of these cars, so this is quite good. I appreciate the invite. I'm getting to see the show.
So, yeah, well, I must admit I'm a bit the same, and I often say that I've seen more cars in the last 4 years having a channel than I've ever seen in my life, because normally I'd go there and get stuck talking to someone, and then you might see a third of the cars.
Yeah, true.
And this way you sort of get forced to see, you don't get to take them all in, but if there's something that grabs my fancy, I might go back and have another look, because I'm looking at all these through a very small lens.
Yeah, another Tirana there without the flares and that smoother look. Another wagon, Howard, bagged.
And check out the wheel. I went in for a look at these wheels because I couldn't quite work out what
Pinstripe.
was going on, how big a rim it actually was, and whether because sometimes they make those, they look like they're like a 20, but they've still got a bit of tyre.
Yeah, yep. That's a Goulburn car as well, that wagon.
It must be a very big car movement in Goulburn.
Yeah, classic cars in Goulburn and Crookwell and surrounding areas has always been popular, yeah, but definitely in a renaissance at the moment.
That's a very 70s, late 70s look, that one.
Yeah. Getting back to the American styling, you can tell where they were styled after that late 50s
that was,
Chev.
You know, me as well, with the XA with the tunnel ram, you know, with the Mr. Gasket style scoop and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yep. And it's good to see a lot of those modifications that were done. They've held on to them because again, they're now nostalgic. Not just the car, but then the modifications
are as well. Yeah, and I think if you keep it all in line, I'm a little bit like that with my panel van at the moment, where I'm trying to make the car almost period correct to what I enjoyed in the late 70s, early 80s, rather than trying to build a current car.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to an 18-inch wheel, but I'm staying with the 5-spoke.
Yes.
More tradition than what the current wheels are, you know?
Yep.
What's that one, a Chevelle?
No, that's a Nova, I reckon. I reckon that's a Chevy Nova, that one.
That is,
yeah. And again, rare on the ground out here. You don't see many of them around.
You don't, and back in the very early days, reading all the American magazines, I always liked the late 60s Novas.
Yeah, them and the Chevelles, I reckon, were a really good shape.
Traditional motor, you see.
Another later model Corvette.
Yeah, so there's 3 or 4 of them there.
Yeah. GSX badge on that. Is that a Plymouth, is it?
I'm not sure.
There's a whole lot of car. Yeah. Not sure either, but yeah.
I nearly walked past this because he was sort of on the end of the line with the traders, and I thought that's cool.
Another local member, that one. Yeah, Don owns that Mustang and van.
So we're in the back hall now, so there's normally only a handful in here each year, but always some good quality.
Yeah, we invite cars to come out and put them on display in the hall, trying to just, again, give something else for the public to come and look at. And that car there, Mick Pratton, who owns the Burnout car, that's his wife, Liz. She owns that one. So yeah, that's an Aero as well, and with all the bling in the engine bay. And this is a Goulburn car. So this is a Plymouth Cuda. One of the local guys there in Goulburn, Fraser, he's helped us out with cars in the past and did so again this year and brought this one out for people to have a look at. And again, something different. You don't see too many of them around.
No, very nice car. I like the traditional stickers in the back window there.
Yeah, he reckons this one's his toy. He likes taking it out and giving it a bit of a blat every now and then. Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, if you've got it. And this is the other Sandman. This is Luke McHugh was a member of our club, and he tragically passed away in a road accident. He fell asleep and ran off the road and tragically passed away. And then his mum and dad, John and Glenda, built that Sandman, had that built in tribute. They had that, and Luke and John were going to build it up, but they then got it built up. And it travels around to a lot of different shows, bringing awareness to driver fatigue, and has been successful at shows as well, that van, but definitely is used to deliver a strong message to young drivers.
Yeah, it was nicely done by Maskell's down at Shepparton.
Yes, yep. And this is another Goulburn car. It was in Goulburn from about the mid-80s, and the owner was pestered, or the current owner pestered the original owner for years to try and buy it, and bought it and then did a complete restoration on the car, and it actually won Best Restoration at the Tirana Nationals in Canberra. Took on some really nice cars and beat them as well. So, Robert, local guy, and Critch, the fella that helps him out, they're the original odd couple, those two, but gee, they know how to put a car together.
Yeah, it was very well done. I was very impressed with the overall finish, and I like to see a car that doesn't look restored, it looks new.
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes I look at cars and they're overdone in some areas and don't quite look right.
Yep.
Now, if you like a bit of that copper work...
Yeah, boy, yeah.
So this is another one out of Maskell. So
yeah, got something else. That one, a Lincoln motor and plenty of copper and brass. And
so I think there's about 6 or so people now employed at Maskell's, and they've got quite a range of people and backgrounds, and because of that, obviously do quite a lot of different vehicles.
Yes. Yeah, certainly is a credit to them, that one. A beautifully turned out hot rod, really nice. You can see inside there they've picked up a bit of brass there instead of polish, and then the copper and brass carried throughout, so a bit of a theme throughout the car.
Yeah, pretty cool hot rod. So this one you had last year, I think, as well in here?
Yeah, again, local guy owns this one, Dave, and that's an all new motor, and he spent the last 12 months really tidying that up. He pulled the original motor out, did all the engine bay, he put a motor by West End in there. It's a pretty hot piece of kit, and did the wheels, and he did a bit of paint correction and rewired the car, and has done quite a bit of work since last year. And a bit of a rare bird, that one. That two-tone top there, the painted top, was a factory option. That came from the factory like that.
Okay, well that is pretty rare, because normally you only got all of that sort of chrome work with the vinyl roof.
Yes. And then this is the best custom winner, this one. JT, a fella from Canberra, owns that one with the 24 karat gold plating and all sorts of different stuff going on there. I'm not a bike guy, but that was a pretty impressive piece of kit.
Beautiful Harley, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I heard your interview with him where you're saying he's done about 400 kilometres on it.
Yeah, he says he rides it, yeah. And he intends on taking it to a ride down the coast shortly. So yeah, it's not just a show pony, that one. And this is the best in show XY, Goulburn family. Aaron and Felicity Apps own that one, and they, great story. They bought that car locally off a fellow and then took it off the road with the intent of just a bit of a tidy up. And 8 or 9 years later, we've got a rotisserie rebuild and runner-up grand champion at the Summer Nats and Judge's Choice. So it's another one of those that got away type deals.
Yeah, we've all heard that story.
Yeah.
I'll just do a little bit. And then sitting right out the front was this fairly unique vehicle.
Yeah, one of one. Yeah. Apparently the general manager of Holden at the time had that car painted that colour for his wife.
Wow.
Yeah, out of the factory. Yeah.
So mate, that's going to pretty much round us up. So if you're looking for a day out with your picnic.
Yeah, Rollin Chrome.
2026 at Crookwell.
Yeah.
Get out there and have a look. So, mate, thanks for coming in. Now, I know you've had a bit of a look, but if people will watch that and want to know my background, then you can go and look at my biography, or you can go and look at any of the 300 odd videos that we have now. And if you like what you're seeing, subscribe, click the like button, ask any questions, and of course, if you get the chance, give Lovells a ring and see what anything you may need.